Good evening. Welcome to our live after 5. I'm just pulled over here in on Rhine. Actually, I'll give you a little peep of the view. Isn't that gorgeous? The sea. So, in deciding what I would talk to you this evening about, I actually Googled some of the most frequently asked questions that people ask about property. And one of them was, how long does it take to sell a home? So I'm afraid there is no one answer or one size fits all. So if you are selling your house, it depends. How long it'll take to sell it will depend on a number of things. So is your house in a housing estate? Is it on its own plot? Is it in an urban location? Is it in a rural location? And how rural is it? When I say rural, does it have amenities like any schools, shops, bus route? They're all the things that people take into consideration when they're buying a property. So if, for example, we've put some houses on the market in Waterford City, in a variety of locations on the Dunmore Road and Avondale and Ferrybank, and we would say that 4 weeks is probably a very good time right now from the time you go on the market to the time you sale agree. Now, some houses are going to sale agreed sooner, maybe 2 weeks, and then some houses are taking longer. But on average, we're finding probably 4 weeks. Now, what happens from the time you go sale agreed to closing the sale is another story. So if your buyer is a cash buyer, then it'll probably go quicker. And most people who are cash buyers have sold a property. Then you have a buyer who's a mortgage buyer, and it depends on a number of things. They will need to get a survey done. They will need to get a bank valuation done. And depending on how long it takes for the engineer, and actually cash buyer will get a survey done as well, how long it takes for the engineer, the valuer to go and do their work. Then there's the drawdown from the loan pack. That can take weeks. So every time there's a step, you're adding on another length of time in the journey. Now, the sales progression in Ireland can be very, very slow and frustrating sometimes. If it's a house in a housing estate, there should be no issues with planning or anything like that. If it's a house on a standalone property and there's an issue with boundaries or rights of way, that could take ages to sort. So it's really important, if you're selling, that you instruct a solicitor and that you insist that the solicitor gets the title deeds. I have met quite a few people recently actually who have their title deeds in their own house, so they have the deeds ready to go, which saves time. So it's really depends on so many things. We sold a house in Ballybeg on the Cork Road in 4 weeks. From the time we listed it to the sale closing, it all happened in 4 weeks. That was the fastest sale ever. Otherwise, it's anything from 3, 4, 5, 6. We had a sale recently. It took a year to close because there was a whole range of planning issues and a whole load of issues around boundaries. And this is where the conveyancing, which is the term for the legal term for the sale of property, needs to be improved. And the Institute of Auctioneers and Valuers are working really hard to get the legal situation changed, where there's a seller's pack and that it's law, that everything is ready before sellers go on the market, because it's really frustrating for buyers as well. So I'm sorry to say there is no one size fits all, but you could say on average 4 weeks to go sale agreed on average. And then if everything is efficient and moving really quickly, you could be closed in another 2 months. So from start to finish, 3 is a really great timeline to go by, assuming that there are no issues that I mentioned. Anyway, if you have any questions or I can be of any help, get in touch. We're here to help. As I always say, have a lovely evening and slán go fóill.